Good morning, guys, and hope you're having an amazing day here today. It is Ping, and today we are once again in the beautiful city of Tirana, Albania. Now, as you've probably seen in a previous video, the food here is absolutely incredible. So today we are going on another food tour here in the city of Tirana, which is the capital city of Albania. We're currently just walking over to our first breakfast spot for the day, but as you can see, the weather today is just absolutely incredible, which is amazing. I'm so excited to start exploring the city. We're just heading up right now to Skanderberg Square. I think that's how you pronounce it. If you're Albanian, go ahead and correct me in the comments below. But this is just a giant square, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But we're gonna go ahead and get started, and let's go ahead and find our first breakfast spot for the day. First stop of the day, we've come to a place, it's really hard to pronounce. It's Burek Luani, I think that's how you pronounce it. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. But this is a place serving Burek. Now, if you've seen our Turkey series, you know what Burek is. It's that pastry with some ingredients inside. But the Burek here doesn't really look like a Burek. It looks like a pie. It literally looks like a pie shape. Never had something like this before, and the guy in there, it's so nice, and it's just as local as it gets. You know, you walk in, you feel like an old Albanian, style place. The walls, the lights, even the signboard, it's so clearly like old school Albania, which I absolutely love. Now, Burek is this pastry, and I got one with meat. I only ordered one, but then he gave me two. But I paid a little bit more, but he didn't give me change, so I don't really know what the deal is. But I'm excited to go ahead and try out the Burek. It looks absolutely amazing, and you can see at the back, the two women are sort of making the Burek. They're sort of folding in the dough. They are making the meat or sausage and getting everything prepared, so it's absolutely a production line back there. But look at this Burek and see all the layers of dough inside. It's really crispy on the top, and it gets a little soggy on the bottom because of all the meat juices in there. But let's go ahead and try out our first Burek here in Albania. That is amazing. First off, what I love is that inside you can see, it's not just meat, they have a little bit of onion inside. It's kind of stewed down. What does that bring to the table? That brings a sort of soft, meaty gravy that's sort of layered in between the pieces of dough. Now, the dough itself is really nice and soft inside, but it still retains its crispiness on the outside. The meat flavor, oh, that umami flavor is incredible. It's almost like if you had corned beef and put it in there. It really tastes like a Western style corned beef with that sort of gravy and sauce inside. Now, usually people drink it with ayran or yogurt or many other different drinks. I'm not really getting any drinks here. I'm just eating this. I've got two pieces, and the thing is, this is dough. Like, it can get really filling. It looks really soft, like tiny little crepes inside, but if you eat a lot of it, it can really fill you up. But look at how crispy, how just sort of flaky it is on the top. That is amazing. Now, one piece here is 120. Two pieces here is 240. I paid 200 and got two pieces, so I don't know what's going on. I might have read something wrong. I might have misunderstood. There might have been a miscommunication. I don't know, but it's really worth it for the price. I mean, think about it. 240 is like $2 US. That's $1 per piece of Burek. That is absolutely worth it. It is so cheap and so good. And it's the reason why so many locals are out here, you know, just eating. I saw like two old ladies, like two grandmas just eating Burek here because this is the place to come and get Burek. It's right next to Skanderberg Square. Skanderberg Square is right behind me, so this is a really central location. It is perfect if you're looking for good traditional Albanian breakfast, because Burek is as traditional as it gets. But let's go ahead and finish this up, and I will see you guys at our next stop for some more food. That might just be the best breakfast I could find here in Albania. That was absolutely delicious, and for the price, I mean, that was delicious. What I really like about that place is just that the vibe is so Albanian old school, you know? You feel like you've been transported in time by like 70, 60 years. The place, the architecture, the lights, the people there, It's like you went back in time, seriously, and you had breakfast back in the 70s or the 80s. Really, really incredible, really, really delicious, but let's go ahead and keep on moving. Next stop of the day, we've come to a place. It's known as Tave Kosi, and it's a traditional place. It's right here in Pazari, where it's really, really famous for a bunch of just different foods. But this is really, really traditional. I got something called a Tave Kosi. Now, I've heard from my Albanian friends that this is an absolute must try when I'm in Albania. What is Tave Kosi? Well, it turns out Tave Kosi is a dish that's made of beef, and it's made with like a yogurt type of sauce. So I don't really know what the flavor profile is going to be like, but from what it looks like, you can see it's bubbling on the side. It's like bubbling in this like, it's like a stone bowl. Oh, it's hot. It's really, really, really hot. And it's got this like yogurt smell to it. I'm not sure what it's going to taste like. I'm not sure what the flavor profile is going to be, but I'm very, very excited to try this out. I mean, you can see the yogurt inside. You can see the pieces of beef. They use beef inside here. But let's go ahead and just try out just the soup by itself. That's totally not what I expected at all. It's a very, very clean flavor. I thought it was yogurt. I thought it would be a little bit sour. That's what I thought. But it's not sour at all. It doesn't have that sour taste at all. It's just really clean, really nice. It almost tastes a bit watery for my taste. But with the beef, I think it'll change things up. And oh, there is a very strong, beefy, sort of meaty flavor, which I absolutely love. But let's go ahead and try out the beef just by itself. That just melts in your mouth. That is so good. Oh man, that is really, really good. That is just so soft and tender. That melts. It literally melts in your mouth, and it's inundated with that sauce. It's really, really delicious. Oh, that's really, really good. Now, let's go ahead. He brought out some bread to give it a try. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take one piece of bread. I'm just going to tear off a little bit of it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it in the Tave Kosi. Apparently that's the traditional way to eat it. You need to dunk it sort of in the sauce. And I think I'm even going to put like a little bit of meat on it right on top just to try it out. Let's go for it. That is delicious. The bread soaks up all the flavor from the Tave Kosi. It soaks up all that beefy, fatty flavor inside. The beef, it melts. It's just like covered in that sauce. And because it's covered in that sauce, it just absorbs everything. The beef just becomes one with the sauce. The bread absorbing it all, the spongy texture of it. Oh, that is absolutely incredible. Let's take another bite here. I'm just surprised by how clean that flavor is. Yes, it is yogurt. Yes, it's got a bit of that sourness taste, just like a tiny bit of that sourness taste, but you barely even get it. More than anything, you get a beef flavor, a really nice umami, meaty flavor to it, which I absolutely love. It works well with the yogurt because the yogurt helps to cut down on that sort of greasiness and oiliness from the beef, which is amazing, which is absolutely amazing. This bowl here is not a very big portion, but it costs 330 lek. And keep in mind that this is not an easy dish to find. It's quite actually hard to find it here in Albania because this is a really old school dish. And you know, with the bread, it's a couple more lek, but it's not too expensive. It's not unreasonably expensive. And with the amount of beef they put inside and with the sauce and everything, well worth the try. When you're here in Tirana, Albania, the food is just delicious with this beef. But I think we're gonna finish this up. It's a really hot day here in Albania, so I think we're gonna go ahead and get some ice cream after this. All right, something very important to take account of. I have to turn off the camera. I just wanted to dig right in, and I put my spoon in and I took a big bite. It's burning. That rock is burning. It's really hot, so just be careful. Don't burn yourself by digging in all the way. Take your time, put the bread in. It's delicious, so just take your time with it. As promised, we were gonna try some pistachio ice cream. Well, we got ice cream, but we got pistachio ice cream this time. You can see it's like a greenish color, but it looks absolutely beautiful. Let's go ahead and try this out. Oh, that's quite pistachio-y. I know they actually pay, like, you have to charge extra for the pistachio flavored, so I get why the pistachio is really, really good. It's got a really nice pistachio-y flavor. And the lady who sells it, she's so nice. Like, she saw that I was carrying cameras and everything. She's like, yo, come here, like, let me help you, you know. It's really, really amazing. But yeah, this looks really, really good. Oh, it's dripping in this hot Albanian sun, so I better eat it up before it melts all away. But this is absolutely delicious. Would highly recommend. This ice cream here is about 100 liras, but we're gonna keep eating our way through Tirana. Well, good morning, guys. It is the next day, and I know this is pretty an abrupt introduction to the video, considering how the last thing you saw was the Tave Kosi, but nothing to worry about here. We're going to continue. We've got one more breakfast here in Tirana, and I want to try some places out, so we're going to go ahead and go get some breakfast. So let's get started. Next stop of the day, we've come to a place known as Burek, and this is a local place. There's actually a local Albanian man just walked in to get more Burek. Now, the funny thing is, yesterday's Burek place is right next door. So these two, I think, are big competitors, and locals here either go to the other one, which we went to yesterday, or this one, which we're going to today. And the competition is fierce, the competition is tight, but I'm here to decide which one is better. I got the same thing here. I got a meat Burek, and just looking at it right now, this looks really, really toasty and really, really flaky on the outside, but I'm gonna go ahead, go right in, and let's give this a try. Alright, so what I'm getting here is, there's not a lot of meat. And if you saw yesterday's Burek, you know, a bunch of different pastries, and inside each little layer was meat. Here, I'm not getting such a strong meat flavor. Not as much meat as the one I had yesterday. I'm trying to look for the meat, but I can't find it. The pastry, however, I love. The pastry is really, really nice and crispy. You know, what I really liked about yesterday's pastry is that it was really soft and gooey in the middle after the sort of meat juices had sort of soaked into the pastry. Here, it's just crispy all around, which is great on a different sense, but I'm not getting any meat. I'm gonna give it another try and see if I can get any meat. There we go, now we got the meat. Wow, that is really interesting. I think what's really different about their meat here is that yesterday's place, they only put just onions. Onions and meat, that was it. Here they've got like onion and tomatoes and onions and meat. So together it's kind of like almost like a pizza because of that tomatoey flavor. The pastry is delicious. It's actually really soft on the inside once you get to the meat place. If you go near the outside edge, it's still really, really crispy and really, really flaky. Not as soft as it is on the inside, where those meat juices and the tomato juices and the onion juices have just melted into the dough. But the question is, and that's the question that every Albanian must be asking, is which one is better? I think it very much depends on your preference. If you really want tomato, this is the place to come. But if you want that soft pastry on the inside with that meat and onion in every single layer, then yesterday's place was probably better. So it's completely up to you which place you want, but I would say that this is just as good. Also consider the price difference. This entire pie right here is only about 50 lek. Yesterday's was 100, so it's double the price over there, but it's cheaper here. So something worth considering. The price difference here, the size here is massive compared to yesterday's Burek. But at the same time, is the quality worth it? That's a question you're gonna have to decide. In my opinion, I would still rather go with the one yesterday. I feel like that pie with the meat and the onions was just really, really good. This is still good, it's still great. It just doesn't match up to what we had yesterday. All right, let's go ahead and continue eating our way through the city. Next up we've come to is a place known as Kastrati Traditional Restaurant. Now, unfortunately we're here in the morning, so their full lunch menu isn't available yet, and because we're leaving Tirana in a few hours, I'm not gonna get to try their full lunch menu. But what they do have is one thing for breakfast and one thing only. Traditional Albanian chicken soup with rice. And let me just say, this isn't any chicken noodle soup. This isn't your classic American clear chicken noodle soup. It's yellow. It's yellow in color. I've never seen chicken soup yellow in color before. This is very, very interesting. And you can see there are chicken bits in there. There's carrot. There's just a bunch of ingredients here. I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna go right in and I'm gonna go ahead and give this chicken soup a try. It looks absolutely amazing. Let's go for it. Oh, that hits the spot. That's like, oh, that's so like comforting. It's a nice thick broth. It's so flavorful. It's really got that chicken essence. And the chicken, it's not dry, it's not stringy. It just melts in your mouth after cooking so long in that soup. The soup is just amazing. It really, really, really is incredible. We need to go ahead and try the rice. The rice, as you can see, it's not just rice. I thought he was gonna bring out like a plate of rice, just like white pilaf rice, but no. It's got tomato, it's got onion, it's covered in this red sauce. It's like a little bit of like a wet rice. I don't know what it is, I don't know why it's like this, but I'm glad to go ahead and give it a try. So let's go ahead and try this out. That's just home comfort food. This is Albanian comfort food right here. Tomatoey, not really oily, actually a little bit quite watery, but the flavor is amazing. It's like salt, pepper, very simple flavors, but that just come together and just make it seem incredible. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna dip some of this bread. They gave me a tray of bread here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to dip a bit of it inside the soup to soak up the soup. Oh, this is gonna be absolutely incredible. Let's go ahead and try this out. Chicken soup in Eastern Europe just hits differently. That soup is amazing, and the bread, it just soaks it all up. But honestly, the soup isn't very watery. It's quite a thick soup. It's quite fat. It's quite nutritious. It's got a lot of that chicken flavor in. And you can see on the top, there's this like layer of bubbles that form because of the fat that sort of comes up to the surface. But that flavor, wow, you can't recreate that. That's just real chicken, just liquefied basically into a soup. The flavor is absolutely incredible, and of course, don't forget, you have to squeeze that lemon, right? We've got a lemon here for a reason, right? We need to, actually I should have done this first, squeeze some of that lemon right on top. Give it that little bit of citrus, because that adds everything. Wait, let me just go ahead and get my little bit piece of bread here. Just try it with the lemon toss. Exactly, the sourness, the citrus from the lemon just helps to cut down on that chicken fat, that flavor. Wow. This is simple. It's comfort food, but it's amazing, and that's what Albania is known for. Good, simple comfort food. This is Albanian local food. This is what people here in Albania eat for breakfast. Bye-bye, thank you. Well, what can I say after a meal like that? I mean, the chicken soup, probably one of the best chicken soups I've ever had in my life, with that rice, the flavor. That was honestly incredible. One of the best meals I've actually had here in Albania so far. That chicken soup, that's just comforting home food. The total price of that meal was 260 lik, which is almost nothing. I mean, that's like $2. I mean, how affordable is that for that price? I mean, that flavor, everything is just absolutely incredible. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more food and travel videos. We're gonna be still going around Albania, so there'll be more food to come, more travel to come, so make sure to stay tuned, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.